Hey, what's happening, y'all? Yeah, before y'all watch this next video, y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. Really appreciate y'all kicking it in. Fucking with it real.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? This Nikaraxhi Sports taking on this first episode. We're going to talk about the first game from yesterday between the Baltimore Ravens, #1 seed, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they've been on a weird stretch this season in the postseason for the first time. And Pat Mahomes, postseason, they've been forced to play on the road besides the first playoff game against the Miami Dolphins. And they've been balling, and this was another game, another daunting task. This was probably the toughest task that Pat Mahomes has ever had to face, being against probably the greatest defense in the past 10 years in points per game, turnovers, sacks. Like, there were tops and all that. Like, the first defense ever to lead in all those statistical categories. And then on the other side, to have the MVP and Lamar Jackson, who didn't perform like the MVP yesterday. He had 2 costly turnovers, the fumble in the first quarter, and then he had the interception late, throwing it in triple coverage to Isaiah Likely, which was a head scratcher play to me. I didn't get what he seen. All I understand was Isaiah Likely threw his hand up and Lamar Jackson threw it, but that was a terrible decision. Something that I know he wished he could have had back. But I mean, overall, if you look outside of Kansas City's first two, there are 2 scoring drives in which they put up 2 touchdowns. Outside of that, Kansas City, they were held to just 3 points. They scored 0 points in the second half. Baltimore, they couldn't capitalize at all during the game. They couldn't establish a rhythm throughout the whole game. Besides they first scoring drive where Lamar Jackson had to break a guy, like a lot of the play against the Jacksonville Jaguars on I think it was Thursday night. I believe it was Thursday Night Football. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But either way, it was just another one of those plays, and Zay Flowers ended up scoring a touchdown, their only touchdown of the game. I'm gonna get to him a little later. They had 8 penalties. Kansas City, they basically dominated the game, 37.5. With the time possession compared to just 22 minutes for Baltimore. That's something that's rarely rarely something that's working against Baltimore. The time possession, usually Baltimore is running the ball and they're just pounding you, and they're controlling the ball like the whole game. So that was definitely a surprise to me. Rushing for only 81 yards, that's definitely something that I definitely didn't get. Like, It to me, watching the game, I mean, Lamar Jackson, 20 of 37, it looked like they wanted to turn him to Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, like have him turn into a drop back quarterback, when just last week the man killed you with both his legs and his arm. Like, he ran the ball 10, 11 times for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, the one of only 5 players to do that, had that stat line in the postseason, and you failed to even address the running game. Justice Hill, Gus Edwards only touched the ball 6 times. Like, that's crazy to me. Coming from a Baltimore Ravens team dating all the way back to the Ray Lewis years, like, they've always been known to have a run first team. Like, if they didn't have a passing attack, Baltimore had a running attack, and they just alluded not to go to it. Like, so Todd Monken, he also didn't call his best play. He also didn't draw up his best game plan when he needed to against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship for a shot at the Super Bowl. Like, I just don't get what Baltimore had going on. Like, hats off to Kansas City though. Like, that's a top tier defense. Hats off to Pat Mahomes. He did what he had to do. He made plays when he needed to make plays, and they did what they had to do. Travis Kelce, he also had a hell of a game. 11 receptions, 11 targets, caught all of them, 116 yards, a touchdown. He also eclipsed Jerry Rice for the most playoff catches with 161. And Jerry Rice, he had 151. So, and he also has an 100 receiving yard game. So, like, it just adds to his legendary career, like GOAT status for me. If you're talking about tight ends, like, this man has been doing it at a consistent level. He almost had another 1,000-yard season had he played the last game, but he elected not to. That's a different discussion for another day. But I was shocked at how the game turned out. Like even with Baltimore giving up the 2 scores early to start the game, like they still hung in the game. Like it was still a game. Like they didn't allow Kansas City to blow them out or nothing. Like the game was still nip and tuck. It was just Lamar Jackson. He couldn't get anything going. And like we all know, like when Lamar Jackson on, this Baltimore Ravens offense is a tough team to beat. Baltimore defense, well, Baltimore team is a tough team to beat, because we already know the defense is always gonna come to play. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about what Lamar Jackson gonna do, and we know what he gonna do. He just didn't show it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But again, hats off to Pat Mahomes' Kansas City, going to their 4th Super Bowl, going to his 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. That now puts him for his playoff career with a 14-3 record. Also becoming the first quarterback without an interception in 6 different playoff games. Mahomes also this postseason, this postseason he's completing 68% of his passes for 718 passing yards on 7 yards per attempt, and with a 90.2 QBR. You know what I'm saying? And also, it's the 8th. He also became the 8th quarterback to start. He will become the 8th quarterback to start or appear in 4 or more Super Bowls. He's tied for 3rd, only behind Tom Brady and of course John Elway. You know, so if this was the chance for Baltimore to get that chip, it would have had to been this year, though. I mean, we seen how Kansas City been playing all season long. Like at no stretch of the imagination did I think Kansas City was gonna advance to the Super Bowl, because I was saying it all season long. Like I thought they was at best gonna be one and done, but they proved a lot of people wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I already knew what the defense was gonna do. It wasn't no questions about the defense. That was like a first for Pat Mahomes, having an elite defense, but the offense was struggling. And far none, when they needed to, that offense picked it up in the playoffs and were able to get three key wins against vital opponents in Miami, Buffalo, and Baltimore, to now move on to the Super Bowl, where they'll be playing for San Francisco 49ers, a rematch from when Mahomes was first in the Super Bowl against in his first Super Bowl against Jimmy G. So it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot of that's gonna. I just wished it was Lamar, because you know what I mean. It to me it would have been box office. You had San Fran against Baltimore in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean. Like we already know what's coming with both teams. These 2 teams already played in a regular season. Baltimore just punched them in the mouth. You feel what I'm saying? But Baltimore, they definitely got some self-reflecting to do. Lamar Jackson, playoff career, man, you gotta. I don't know, bro. Like it just seems like, bro, but outside of the game against Houston, like, bro, just looks like a different quarterback when you need him, and like I'll say, at least from yesterday. You know what I'm saying? From yesterday's game, because that Houston game, like from this season, like Lamar showed me he could be a true pocket quarterback. What killed him though is just the fact that he was sitting back in the pocket too long, and Steve Spagnuolo, he was dialing up the blitz. It's like this whole season, what have I been saying? Like, what's the best way to contain Lamar Jackson? What's the best way to key in on Lamar? You blitz him. Like, bro, nobody was even trying to do that this season. Like teams were literally letting this man sit in the pocket, call his mama, call his girl, yo, what we eating for lunch? Like the whole 5'9", bro. Like he was doing all that and making plays. But not yesterday. Like Spags was making him think quick, like react quick, move west, east. Like he wasn't letting him go north, south, none of that. Like he was retreating, or he was overthrowing or undershooting guys. I mean, like I said, Baltimore, they couldn't really sustain a drive. And when they did, in the fourth, Zay Flowers, one of my biggest pet peeves, which I hate. I bring it up I say it all the time when it happens. Like, bro, why are we stretching to get the touchdown, bro? Like, it's not even that serious. Like, niggas would have had first and goal. You got four cracks at it. We got the best rushing attack in the league, bro. Like, we've had it since Lamar's been a quarterback. Like, come on, man. You don't think we're going to punch it in the end zone? Like, if you punch it in right there, we talking a different ball game. But I'm not here to do what ifs, you know what I mean? That's not what I do. You feel what I'm saying? It's just, shit could have been different. I mean, they couldn't really convert on third down, 3 of 11, 27% clip. For the postseason, I didn't even know this. This is kind of crazy. There was 7 for 23 on third downs in the playoffs. That's a 30% clip. And then with Lamar Jackson as a quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, they're putting up 28 points per game in the regular season. Postseason, it's kind of like that's a 12-point drop at 16 points per game in the postseason. So that's, like I alluded to earlier, like I said, he kind of showed me that he could win from the pocket. It's just the fact that he let people. He wanted to prove people wrong so bad that he wanted to, like, it's not even that serious, bro. If you would have just reverted to the game that you had last week against Houston, mixed it up a little bit, got rid of the ball quick, ran it a couple times, kept him honest, like we would have been talking about a different ball game. But again, Kansas City being the first Super Bowl defending champ to return to the Super Bowl since they did it in 2020 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in which they lost to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. But yeah, it's just crazy because I didn't see this coming from Kansas City. I mean, not Lamar, Pat Mahomes career high in picks this season with 14. Like, I did not see this coming. Them winning 3 straight in the playoffs and having a shot at the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. It's crazy. But this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna end the video. If Baltimore would have came in with how can I say it? They had their egos checked. You know what I mean? Didn't let their emotions get to them. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you go to at pregame, you had Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce fucking with Justin Tucker. You know what I mean? And then we had Arthur Millette, our slot corner, or like our 4th-string corner. He got into it with the Kansas City Chiefs pregame. So, no, like the energy was already amped up. I ain't even bring up, they had Ray Lewis opening the game. You got T Sizzle coming in during the third, making an appearance in the second half. Like all these emotions, you know what I mean? And then we talking about the biggest game in Baltimore Ravens history. You hosting the AFC Championship game for the first time. Like, that doesn't happen all the time. That's why we speak so much about Pat Mahomes and what he's done in his 6 years as a starter. Like, 4 Super Bowl appearances in 5 years, bro. That's kind of hard. That's hard. That's hard as hell to do. You know what I mean? Then it's getting to the point now where, like, we're not even judging Pat Mahomes off younger generation. You know what I mean? The Lamar Jacksons, the Joe Burrows, and the Josh Allens. We judging him off of he being judged with the Joe Montanas and the Tom Brady's. Like, no more is he being compared to his peers and his peers anymore. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this man about to have three chips. You know what I mean? Two Super Bowl, two MVPs. Like, it's crazy what this man doing. But I'm out. I know I said I was done a while back, but hey, man, I'm out, man. Peace.